Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of our lovely podcast.
Yes.
I'm here with my co-host,
Yes.
Daniel Davies.
And I'm here with Rose Lee, aka Cheap Lazy Vegan.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
So, hi. Hello, everyone. Why do I feel awkward?
I know,
We've done this a million times, but intros are always awkward.
They are, yeah. It's just kind of
How are we, Daniel?
We're fantastic. We've had a pretty interesting weekend, haven't we?
Have we?
Yeah.
I mean, some of us more interesting than others.
Okay, well, we won't go down that route. But I was gonna say, so Rose and I actually this weekend went to Veg Fest in Calgary.
I mean, went to is an overstatement based on how long you stayed.
Well, that's true. I was a little bit hungover. I'm not gonna lie, and I ended up leaving a little bit sooner than Rose.
And visiting a little porta potty.
You know what, Rose?
Is it called a porta potty?
It is
porta potty.
Porta potty. Portable potty.
And what did you do in that porta potty, Daniel?
I am not going into this.
Well, you need to say it now because people are
I know
imagining
that people
all
are gonna
kinds of
think.
things.
People are like, "Did he have sex in the porta potty? Like, what happened?" No, I did not, guys. Get your minds out of the gutter.
Honestly, I can't think of a worse place. But anyway.
Oh God, did I ever tell you? I don't remember who told
About the time you had sex in a porta potty?
No. I haven't. Okay, we need to stop this idea
no
of
more
like
sex talk. Okay,
No.
this is a PG podcast.
Yeah, it is a PG podcast. No, but oh God, guys, I'm gonna leave you with a horrible image.
Okay, guys, if any of you are eating, please probably put the fork down.
Yeah, put the fork down just for 2 seconds. So I can't remember.
What is this?
I can't remember who told me this story. Okay, but somebody told me this story, and hopefully they're not mad at me repeating this on the podcast.
Is this a true story?
Yes. Well, it's a friend of a friend of a friend. Apparently someone was at a music festival. I don't know what music festival.
I think you told me the story.
Yeah.
And I think I gagged.
Yeah. You were going to gag again. Yeah. Should I even tell it on the podcast?
I mean, you guys, this is going to be disgusting. Maybe you want to skip like 30 seconds. Okay, go. This is your trigger warning, TW.
Yeah, trigger warning, guys. So just this story about this porta potty. Apparently some girl was going to go to the bathroom and she goes and sits on the porta potty. And as she does, she feels like a wetness. And I guess it's because it's so disgusting.
Oh my God. Okay, keep going.
Are you going to be okay, Rose?
I'm going to be okay.
Okay, but apparently this porta potty was so full, there was like a mound of shit in there. And when she sat on it, it touched her.
Oh my God.
I think we need to stop the is Rose going to be okay? I know, I couldn't believe it.
Oh my, Daniel.
Somebody told me that story, so it must be true. I feel like no. But somebody told me it was like a friend of a friend of a friend.
Somebody told me that story, so it must be true. That is the most I mean, if somebody made that up, then that's like, I don't know what's worse, like somebody making that up. But
I don't think it's made up. But anyway.
Oh God, like I legitimately just gagged like multiple times.
I saw that.
That was not.
So did our audience.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Up until maybe like mid-20s, I never got like physically ill by hearing a story.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make me like actually physically gag would be like a bad smell or bad taste.
Yeah.
But something happened. Maybe it was this story.
This story ruined you, Rose.
Something ruined me where like I just all of a sudden started like actually physically getting sick from hearing stories or like maybe like seeing a video of something disgusting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have you seen that video out, Two Girls, One Cup?
No, I have not seen it and I'm never going to watch it.
Oh my God.
Like
I watched that when I was like young and I didn't actually get it. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But if I watched it now, I think I would actually puke.
Probably throw up. Yeah. I'm really bad for smells though. Like if it's like, cause I remember like even just changing like a litter box.
Yeah.
You know, for like a cat's litter box, I will like practically vomit. Like I'm just like
God.
I really struggle. Like I get it done still. Like because I would house that for a friend that had cats, so I had to like do the litter, and I was just like dying.
You should have worn your.
I should have worn my mask.
Yeah, you should have.
Oh, that's smart. I should have done that. I don't know what I was thinking.
Those masks are multifunctional, Daniel.
This is true. Helping prevent them smells.
Oh my God. Anyway, that story is fucking disgusting.
I know, it was pretty gross. But guys,
anyway, porta potty.
That didn't happen to me in the porta potty.
So what happened, Daniel?
I was a little bit sick.
So basically, we got there. Daniel was already feeling a little down, as in just hungover. And I felt bad because I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I just know how like miserable you feel when you're hungover. So I was like, oh God. So we ate a little something. I thought you were going to feel better. And I was like,
I did start feeling better though.
And then I was like, let's do hair of the dog, as in.
Let's have another drink.
What is that term, by the way?
It is called hair of the dog.
Yeah, but like, why?
Don't know.
It's a British term, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think
because
it's British.
I never heard it until I went to the UK.
Yeah.
So hair of the dog, if you guys don't know, because a lot of people don't know. I did not know. But it's basically just like when you drink after a hangover, like during a hangover to get rid of the hangover.
Yeah. So it's just like you continue going basically. Like you just don't stop.
So just say, should we have a hair of the dog or something?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Anyway, such a weird term.
It is.
So we're like, let's do hair of the dog. I was like, let's get a drink. And then we started drinking. And then all of a sudden Daniel's like looks like he's in the most amount of pain I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was just not in a good place, guys. I had to leave.
And then his back started hurting.
I know. And then I got a weird like pain in my back, which never lately seems to be happening all the time. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? But anyway, so I was a little bit bruised and battered, but it was really fun. But anyway, yeah, so I wasn't in the best place, but I still had a really good time. There was some good food there. We had some interesting combos of popcorn.
Yes, very delicious food.
Yeah, and we actually ran into some people that listened to the podcast.
Yes, hi
guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We literally don't even realize that people in Calgary listen to us.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
And then Daniel left me.
I did, yeah.
High and dry. He, guys, I see some improvement in the maturity level of Daniel because
the old me would have gone to the bathroom, thrown up, come back and started drinking again.
Yes. No, because we initially bought 2 drink tickets each.
Yeah.
And he had 1 drink. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this one go. The second one.
Yeah. And when would I have ever done that in the past?
I was like, Daniel, this is not like you. How sick are you? I was like, are you dying?
Are you going to be okay? Like, really? Like, what is going on?
Luckily I gave it to my friend because I also didn't want to have another drink. I already had 2 drinks and I didn't want to have another one, especially without my drinking buddy.
Yeah.
So I gave it to my friend and she got kombucha. What a waste.
Your kombucha is still good.
$8 for fucking kombucha. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
Anyway, kombucha is pretty expensive.
Yeah. It's usually around $4 or $5.
Anyway. We need to do a Patreon shout out.
We do need to do a Patreon shout out.
Is it one shout out?
All right, guys. Time for our Patreon shout out. So we have one new Patreon.
Patron, Daniel. Patron.
No.
English.
I know. English.
It is your
guys.
first language, after all.
So we'd like to say thank you to Leanne for joining our Patreon community.
Yes. And if you guys want to join as well and get a little shout out from us, as well as bonus episodes and the episodes a week earlier than everybody else, then don't forget to join us on Patreon. It is patreon.com/TheSaVeg Podcast.
That's right.
The link is down below in the show notes and in the description box.
And Rose, what are we talking about in September's Patreon exclusive? Do you remember?
No.
We are going to go through.
Oh, for this month, you mean?
Yeah, for this month.
Oh, so we're going to be going through some hate comments.
We're going to go through our
reacting.
Reaction. Yes.
You're going to get our savage take.
Our savage take.
So if you've ever left us a hate comment and you want us to respond.
Yeah. Then go subscribe to our Patreon and you'll see our response.
That'll be fun. We'll just be kind of like, I don't know, just going through our interesting comments.
Yeah, they'll be good. And
I mean, not necessarily even hate, just like,
we get quite a lot.
Do we?
Some interesting ones, yeah.
Some interesting ones.
Yeah, we'll just put it that way.
Let's just call them interesting comments.
Yeah, not hate comments, interesting comments.
Yes.
Yeah, especially on some of our more controversial videos.
Oh, I'm sure we have a lot.
Evoke conversation, and we like that, right?
Yeah,
like,
so
we like to have
this is our chance to respond to you.
Exactly.
There you go. So if you want to hear that, then don't forget to join us on Patreon. It is patreon.com/TheSaVeg Podcast for as little as only $3 a month, guys. It is a steal.
It's a steal of a deal. It's less than a coffee at Starbucks.
Exactly. Much less. Yeah. Nowadays.
This is true.
Anyway, we're gonna jump right in, are we?
Well, I thought we would start with some stories because there's so much to talk about this week.
Do we?
Literally, it's a crazy amount of stories.
Oh God, are we gonna talk about all the climate shit that's going on?
Well, that's gonna be one thing, but I thought we could kick off with
our favorite person.
Well, no, that's Rose. You're jumping to conclusions. I'm sorry. No, but because last episode, guys, I did like a rant myself. And now I feel like it's Rose's opportunity to do a rant.
Ooh.
Based on...
You're asking me to do a rant.
Yeah, well, I thought you were raging the other day about it, so I feel like you can
Oh my
rant
God, what
about
was it?
About our province's response.
Oh. This is my time to shine. Oh my fucking God. My friends, if you don't like cursing...
Oh God.
This might not
This
be
is
the
a trigger
podcast
warning.
for you.
This is a trigger warning, guys.
And if you're an anti-mask or anti-vaccine, this is a trigger warning to you. But also listen. Okay, like genuinely listen. I'm going to get fired up, but also fucking listen. Yeah. First of all, okay, so we live in the beautiful province of fucking Alberta. Alberta, guys, listen. It is such a shame because Alberta is a beautiful province.
Yeah,
it actually is. We have the Rocky Mountains. It is absolutely gorgeous. And it's a really good place to live in many ways. But also what comes with that territory, unfortunately, is a bunch of fucking rednecks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to say that, but it is a very conservative province. We've talked about this multiple times.
Conservative province, often fondly referred to as Berta.
Berta. We live in Berta. Fucking Berta. Anyway, so because we live in the most conservative province in Canada, unfortunately, we also have a very shitty, what do they call premiers?
Premier, yeah.
And his name is Jason Kenney. Now, I can't fully blame him. I'm sure there's other people in this discussion.
It's not just him making this decision. You know what I mean?
But he is also, he's the leader of
the
this.
Figurehead.
Okay?
Yeah.
So recently, because COVID-19 is not over, because some people refuse to take a completely free vaccine, which I will get to in a second, because this virus keeps mutating and more people are getting it. Right now, our cases are kind of like jumping back up.
Yeah.
Because of this, a lot of people are going to the hospital. Mind you, it's mostly non-vaccinated or partially vaccinated people.
Yeah.
Like 90-something% of the ICU is unvaccinated.
I think it's like almost close to 100.
Yeah, almost 100% of the ICU is pretty much unvaccinated or partially vaccinated. Yeah. So fully vaccinated people are pretty much not existent in the ICU. Maybe like a few.
Exactly. And I think like, and I could be like commenting like off topic here or, but I feel like the people that are double vax that are, ending up going to the hospital or the very few that are in the ICU, I think there might be something more to those cases. I could be wrong, but maybe they have some other.
They're usually a lot older.
Exactly.
And maybe they have another, situation.
Yeah.
Either way, like, we've already acknowledged the vaccine is not 100%. Anyways, so because we're not 100% vaccinated or whatever it is, we are still getting an uptick in a big uprise or whatever the word is in cases. So because of this, they made a new announcement the last, week.
Friday, I think it was.
Which is literally, I cannot think of a worse strategy, to be honest with you, because there is no strategy. The strategy is this. Here's my perception of what I think would work, is having, and I know people don't like this, but some sort of a vaccine passport or some sort of vaccine, proof. If you want to do things like going to restaurants or going to cinemas or going to museums or whatever you want to do, because it's not, oh God, okay, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself.
I know, I was like.
So that would be my strategy to potentially curb this thing. And also,
what was Alberta government strategy, Rose?
Alberta government strategy was, number one, they are going to mandate masks, which, that part I will give you whatever. Okay. They're mandating masks again. For a long time, for a few weeks now, we haven't had to wear masks in, lots of places. And now that's back. That part is fine. Second thing is that they decided that viruses don't exist before 10 p.m. So they've decided to stop alcohol sales at 10 p.m. at restaurants and bars.
What is the logic behind that?
There's literally zero logic behind this. Like I cannot. I think the logic is people get crazy and drunk and they get, rowdy and whatever.
So instead people are just going to do that before 10 o'clock.
Exactly. Like right now, just now, it's like 9 something. Walking by the bar, people are fucking, all over the place.
People were pissing in the street on Rose's walk. People were throwing up in the street.
Anyways, so yeah. So that's the first thing that never made sense. They did something like this before where they had some kind of curfew. This makes no sense. The thing that really pisses everybody off is that, so that's that. So they're just going to close, liquor sales after 10 p.m. Yeah. for everyone, right? It's not even just unvaccinated, vaccinated. It doesn't matter. They're just going to close
for
it.
Everyone, yep.
So basically everyone is somehow suffering, you know, like bars are suffering, small businesses suffering, and people are not able to go and socialize, like, you know, not in the same way, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the kicker is that they've decided that in order to promote the vaccine, they are going to give unvaccinated people $100 each to get the vaccine. They are paying the people that have caused this virus to go rampant to get the vaccine now. They are actually paying people to be that have been irresponsible and rewarding them for their irresponsibility. And they're not getting any repercussions. That's what's killing me. It's like maybe if they decided to have some sort of vaccine passport and they decided to have an incentive for getting the vaccine on top of that, so like negative and positive reinforcement, then I would actually maybe potentially be behind it. I'd be like, okay, you know what? As long as they're actually doing something else. But there's no deterrent, right, at this moment to not get the vaccine. There's no reason because we're all suffering whether or not you got the vaccine.
Exactly. And it's like, well, why did we were on as soon as we could get it, pretty much we were like, hey, let's just get this vaccine, let's get this over and done with, let's just move on with our fucking lives. And then you're right, the thing that really is like irritating is like everyone is now not that, I mean, honestly, I guess the things that are putting into place, like the 10 p.m. curfew and not curfew, but like shutting down of liquor sales, like, and wearing masks again, like it's just more of an annoyance, I guess, kind of. But it's like the fact that you're rewarding people for, you know, the numbers in the hospital speak for themselves. You see all of these people
across the board. It's not even just here. It's across the board. Wherever vaccines are available, the numbers speak for themselves.
Well, exactly. They're looking in so many different countries, and like all the countries that have high rates of vaccine. I think this was in the US. I'm pretty sure the UK as well. Is like majority of the people in the hospital. And we're talking not even like a small majority, like a vast majority, like in the high 80s, low, even high 90s of people that are in the hospitals are unvaccinated.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is the longer this virus is left out there in the world, well, I mean, in the ether or whatever, it's going to mutate, right? Like, and then
the vaccine becomes less effective on the people that are vaccinated.
Yeah.
And then, oh God,
it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious
cycle. And we're on the fourth wave, apparently.
Yeah, we are.
We're getting into the fourth wave. And I have to rant about something else related to this.
Okay.
Today I was scrolling through TikTok. Good old TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, when I'm lucky, I get into Alberta TikTok, which is fantastic. Now, some of Alberta TikTok is actually great. It's basically, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
It's the redneck Albertans or it's the people hating on Alberta that live in Alberta. They're like, I fucking hate this province. You know, they're like us, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. But today I saw this girl and she made a couple TikToks. I remember she made a TikTok back in the summer when we were reopening. And then she was saying how she's like, oh, I just love that everything's reopening. But why is the slogan for like the reopening plan was called like open for summer. And she was like reading into it like so much. She was like, why is it saying open for summer? Does that mean in fall everything's going to shut down again? I was like, okay, listen, you don't sound like you understand that there's a virus. Like you act like the way that she was talking, she was acting as though like there was no reason for any sort of shutdown. There was no reason for anyways. So she started like ranting about the vaccine and she's like, listen, like I understand if you want to get the vaccine, whatever, but like why are we being forced to get the vaccine? And some people were like, you're not being forced to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, essentially I am if, you know, things are going to not be available to me, like, for example, going to restaurants. I was like, well, first of all, I don't even think they're doing the vaccine passport.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would want them to.
Yeah.
But basically she's saying like, hypothetically, if there was a vaccine passport, then why are they like, they're essentially being forced to get the vaccine. And she was like, I just don't get why we're being forced to get the vaccine.
And the thing is,
why do you not understand why?
I know the thing that's so annoying about this whole situation, though, it's like a lot of people are like, you know, I shouldn't be forced to get this vaccine. I should be able to do whatever I want. Now, I'm using a little bit of an extreme example, but like if I had some crazy infectious disease that could kill people, I think
but you're not using this is exactly what's happening.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Then I think it's kind of partially my responsibility as well, because I live in a society with other people that can get impacted from my actions.
Yes.
Then I need to be responsible. And if places are saying, hey, you need to get a vaccine passport before you can come in here, or maybe they make it so like, you know, okay, grocery stores and essential services, you can wear a mask and be in there.
Yes.
But then, bars, restaurants, and other things that are more kind of like optional.
Yes.
You have to have a vaccine passport to enter into those premises. Fine. You can still get your groceries and do the essential things that you need to do. But because you are living in a society where you can impact other people, like it shouldn't be. And then some people's argument was like, I remember I watched this one thing, I think it was a TikTok or something. And it was talking about how they're like, okay, the vaccine passports don't make any sense because if all the people in like a stadium, for example, are vaccinated and then one person goes in that's not vaccinated, like that unvaccinated person is taking a risk on their own self. Like it won't impact the vaccinated
That's the dumbest
people.
shit I've ever heard.
And I was like, well, it does, because if that person gets sick and goes to the motherfucking hospital and then I fall down some stairs and break my leg and I have to go to the motherfucking hospital and there's no beds there because that idiot didn't follow precautions, then it is impacting me. You know what I mean?
And he's acting like as if he's the only like there's going to be one person that's unvaccinated.
That's there.
When you don't have a vaccine passport or anything, any sort of precaution, it's not going to be just one person.
Yeah.
Right? If 99% of people were vaccinated, we would not be even having this discussion.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that we have 70% that's vaccinated.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, I don't understand why. Okay, let me just fucking lay it out for you people that don't seem to understand that there's a pandemic.
Yeah.
A worldwide pandemic that is contagious. It is a contagious, infectious disease that has killed over how many people, Daniel? 2 million?
I don't even know. I think it's more than that.
I know
now.
it's over 600,000 in the US alone.
Yeah. No, I think it's close
definitely
to 2
millions.
million. Yeah.
So it has killed so many people in the past like a year and a half, not even 2 years.
Yeah.
So there is an infectious disease. When there's an infectious disease, there is a risk when you interact with other people. Now, we actually have something that could potentially end this, which is called the vaccine. The vaccine came out. You have the ability to get the vaccine. It has been proven to work scientifically, and it's also been proven to work just by, the hospital numbers.
Yeah.
And when you choose not to get it, the problem is you can choose not to get it. But the problem is, you're right. You live in a society, and when you go out into the public, into a place,
you're putting others at risk.
You are putting others at risk potentially because you could be getting the virus, spreading the virus. If there's multiple people in a restaurant that don't have the vaccine, you could be giving it to each other and taking up space in a hospital where other people could potentially be using those hospital resources because those hospital resources are finite. And especially where we live, which is a country with public health care, with health care that is provided to you for free by the government because of our tax-paying dollars.
Well, and the worst part too, another really bad, like really frustrating thing is in Alberta, it's like we don't have a shortage of vaccines. Do you know what I mean? Like for a while,
is what kills me.
I know for a while we had some issues with shipments, but then we got like so much vaccines coming in where basically everybody could have been vaccinated at this point. Now,
it's probably just like rotting, you know, because those vaccines they don't last forever. They expire.
Exactly. And the thing is like there's other countries that like are struggling for vaccinations and don't have enough vaccines. And yet we're a province and a country that has so many, and yet there's still people that are so hesitant and so and I think like honestly in my mind, just like talking it out with you, I think that a potential solution to this that maybe is an approach that, the Alberta government could have or should have taken. And again, I'm not in politics, guys, so like whatever, it is what it is. But is the idea that, okay, those services that were deemed essential, like getting groceries and things like that, like there's certain things that you can't stop people from doing.
I mean, of course, they do have to survive.
Exactly. You have to live. So in those cases, mandatory masks, people can go there, hand sanitizing, doing all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that shouldn't necessarily be the case in other establishments, but for optional things, things such as social events, museums, cinemas, going to bars and restaurants.
These are privileges, people.
Exactly.
These are privileges. These are not your rights.
These are not rights. These are privileges to go to these venues and do these things. And you know what? I think there's nothing wrong with those establishments saying, hey, I don't want you at my establishment.
No, but the government needs to mandate it.
No, I know.
Right? Like you can't have private businesses because they're not going to do it, right? Because then it becomes, a private business issue.
Well,
but it needs to be a government issue.
No, definitely. Yeah. I just think it's funny because this is going to lead into our story.
Oh, God. I'm not done, though.
I know. Keep going.
Oh, God. This whole thing pisses me off so much.
Oh, God.
And so here's the thing. When your actions impact other people, this is not about, my body, my choice, whatever. Again, you are allowed to, do whatever. You're technically like, okay, why can't I drive a car without a license? why don't I have the freedom to drive a car when I don't have a license? Why? Because that is a public safety issue. Okay? Because I'm not the only one that could potentially be impacted by driving a car without a license. Okay, there's a reason why you need a license to drive a car or other vehicles. There's a reason why we have to wear clothes when we leave the fucking house. There's a reason why we have to do so many things. And vaccine passports, guys, I mentioned it before, and I know I'm preaching to the choir because you guys are smart, but like vaccine passports are not new.
I know. It's so...
Vaccines are not new. You are probably vaccinated. Most people that are saying they're anti-vax are probably vaccinated. Oh my God, but this vaccine's so new. Then don't go to the fucking hospital. The hospital, the medical field is also part of this whole vaccine thing.
I know.
Why do you trust the medical field to save your life when you were so stupid to get the vaccine because you don't trust the fucking vaccine?
I know.
You dumbass motherfuckers. Sorry.
It's it's crazy though. You're right, because there's these people that are like, especially we're talking some of the really extreme people that are like very, well, not even, but just the people that are super anti-vax, saying all this stuff like, not going to get vaccinated, anti-mask, anti-vax. This is all a scam.
But also people that are just like, oh, I don't get why we're being forced to get the vaccine. Okay, I just explained it to you. Can you explain to me why you don't understand this? Like,
well, and like the thing that's crazy is like those are the same people though. As soon as they get sick, they will be going to the hospital and using up the resources and going to the place where there's
fully hospitalized. I can't even talk. But they are, because they are taking up most of the fucking space. That's the problem. And that's why vaccine passports are important, because when you have a virus like this and you're going around, and here's the thing, let me just also mention the fact that the reason why shit has been open in the first place for the last few months is because people like us got vaccinated.
This is
okay?
True. Yes.
The reason why things are not fucking locked down fully still is because people actually got vaccinated on your fucking behalf for your fucking benefit. So that you can go to the bar and get fucking wasted on Friday nights. That's why. So that you could stop wearing a mask. It's because of the fact that people took the responsibility. They got fucking vaccinated. And because imagine if nobody got vaccinated, how would the numbers be right now? Okay. What would the numbers be like? Because right now we're getting 1,000 something cases with 70% vaccinations, and we're doing we're going out. We're we're not wearing masks, whatever. Imagine if we had no measures and we had no vaccines. Like, do you think we'd be open? Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no, we wouldn't be open. So fuck off, you people. Like, listen, I don't get why this is difficult to understand. We've been in this pandemic for a year and a half.
And people are so divided on this.
I don't get why this is a political issue. Here's the thing. People that are making this a political issue are saying this is a political issue. They're like, why is this a political issue? I mean, you made it into a political issue. Like, this is actually about safety. People are comparing the vaccine passport to like Holocaust. Have you heard that?
No, actually I have heard that, because they're saying, oh, now we're gonna have to have like a little, like the star that
oh my God, are you like so desperate to be oppressed? Like, are you joking me right now? Like, I can't even believe.
And I'm not fully understanding why, because they're saying, okay, for example, I'm just using this as another example though. People are like, oh, vaccine passport to be able to go into businesses and whatever else. Like, why this is such a big deal? Because at the end of the day, like, we have like similar things for other things, like no shoes, no service, or you want to go to another country, you have to have a passport, like a legit passport. So like, how is that not an infringement on your rights? But then having a vaccine passport, it's like people have this flawed idea of what is a right. Like, they just think like they should be able to do whatever they want, even though they already live in a society where they can't do whatever they want. Exactly.
We already have rules, guys. Like, it's not like we can just go outside and do whatever the fuck we want.
Exactly. Well, and we live in a democracy, so like we vote on who we want to be in power, that build the rules that help construct and make a safe and safe environment for us to live in. And yes, there's corruption in the government. Yes, there's shit that goes on that probably shouldn't, but at the same time, like, this huge mistrust of this vaccine, and
I know,
thinking that this is some kind of government scam. I'm like, people are literally dying. Like, we talked about this in the last episode, but like, seriously, like, really, like, super conservative talk show hosts that are like really pushing like this is a scandemic, whatever, they're getting sick with COVID and dying. Like, this is not a joke, guys. Like, and again, we're preaching to the choir, but oh God.
I mean, what kills me is that, again, it's the same people that are anti-mask that are also anti-vax most of the time. And it's the same people that are anti-lockdown, even though they, like, you need to realize that the reason why we don't have a lockdown right now is because of people that got the vaccine.
Exactly.
Like, you are welcome. You are welcome. Okay. And also, it just kills me that they're so willing to trust the doctors that are going to save their lives potentially when they go to the hospital because they didn't get the vaccine, but they won't get the fucking vaccine.
I know.
What is the difference? It's all part of the medical field. How do you know that the medicine that they're injecting in you isn't going to kill you, huh?
But like this is it, right? Like it's like they like we were saying earlier, these people that get sick will still go to the hospital and maybe they
get treatment.
Exactly, and get treatment, but they will not get it's like such a stupid.
Oh my God. Can you tell the story of your friend?
Oh my God. So a friend of a friend has a friend of a friend of a friend. A friend of a friend of a friend has a friend that is a nurse in the ICU and was treating a guy had come in. He was on an incubator.
Incubator? Is
it called? Sorry.
No,
ventilator.
Ventilator. Okay.
Thank you. Obviously really sick with COVID. You know, he did recover, didn't die, you know, got through it and was told by the doctor and stuff like, you had COVID, you know, you're fine now. And even after all that, the guy was like, no, it wasn't COVID. Like, COVID's not real. And it's like,
after he just got his life saved.
Yeah. Like,
it's like, what?
I can't with people. I can't.
And like, seriously, like we've said this a million times, but how can the world be this organized to come up with this kind of conspiracy?
This is it, right? People are saying this is some kind of government conspiracy, like our global, right? Because obviously a global government conspiracy. Because again,
because apparently we all have the same agenda.
Exactly. And this is the crazy thing to me. Like there's so many things where I was like, okay, like people literally, they were talking about actually in the US, UK, a bunch of countries. I'm just using these ones as examples because that's what I've read about. But like even in Canada, the Canadian government during this time has literally spent probably billions of dollars.
So much money.
In financial aid to small businesses, in aid to people that have had CERB payments, in paying for the vaccines for individuals. This was all, it's not free. Like the pharma companies are definitely making some money off this. So really, someone explained to me how this was in the best interest of the Canadian government.
Because they want to control us, Daniel. Apparently.
So, yeah, but they're going to pay all this fucking money and do all this stuff. And yeah,
they're going to spend however much money on giving hundreds of dollars to people that have decided they're not going to get the vaccine. And I was going to say something else and I totally... the reason... What I was going to say was my belief is that Jason Kenney... So Jason Kenney is, again, our premier of Alberta.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. Anyways, I believe that the reason why they came up with these, like... I don't even want to call them half measures. They're just like literally the opposite of everything you should be doing.
It's like a finger in the air. Like, I think this might work. Let's do this.
No, but I do think it's a strategy because he can't, because of his political standing, because he is very ultra conservative and he knows that his supporters are very conservative. Yeah. So those are the people that are more likely to be anti-vax, whatever.
Yeah.
So he definitely thinks that he can't make some sort of vaccine passport. That's my guess. Yeah. He can't make a vaccine passport because he's going to be going against his core audience and the only people that are left that are going to vote for him. So he is making, I believe, a political move because he thinks that like he can't punish people that are on his side, whoever he has left.
Oh, God.
I really believe that.
Could be true. I mean, we can't prove it.
We can't prove it, but I believe it because this strategy makes no sense. Yeah. It's easier to blame the young kids that are getting drunk at the bars at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. at 1 a.m., whatever it is, than to blame the people that are not getting vaccinated. Like, it's just easier. And it's easier to give them money, like a positive reinforcement, rather than punish them, which honestly, they should not punish, but like there should be repercussions to your actions.
Well, this is just it. The whole situation just...
I know. It's just, it infuriates me and it makes me more and more mad because this pandemic is never going to end because we're just going to always have to fucking deal with this shit.
I know. It's like an ongoing, I feel like we're on like a little hamster wheel at the
moment.
We
are, because the government is never going to fucking do anything about these motherfuckers.
Oh, God. Well, some provinces are starting to implement vaccine
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Other provinces are doing it. But why is province of Alberta not doing it?
Exactly.
Because it's a political move. They know it's a conservative province. They know they're going to piss people off. And they know that they need their votes to win the conservative government. Fuck this place. Why are we here?
I know. Honestly, roses.
Like, it's so annoying. Like, I don't want to move. Like, this is the one thing that I just hate about this province. Like, it's a great place to live. It's, high standard of living, all these great things. But if this fucking COVID hamster wheel, like you said, continues. And moving on to another person that infuriates us more than anything. Oh, God.
This is honestly... Guys,
I sent you the story, right?
Yeah, Rose sent me this story.
I knew you'd have a field day with this one. Can you guys guess who we're going to talk about? Because I feel like we always say.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys know who we're going to talk about. And we are going to talk about my favorite person who I would love to get on this podcast, by the way. Oh my God, honestly. I would love to fucking interview her so badly because she is just, everything wrong with this world.
Oh God.
Well, I'm not everything.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
So guys, we're obviously going to talk about my good friend, Candace Owens, mine and Rose's good friend, and what recently happened to her. So I'm going to paraphrase the story of what had happened. I'm actually going to read the email that was sent to her. And then honestly, let's just get right into this because this story is
it is juicy.
Oh, it's giving me life. So I guess. So as we know, guys, Candace Owens, super conservative. I think she's also is anti-vax, anti-mask.
Of course she is. I'm sure she is.
I remember reading this somewhere. I don't think she's vaccinated, and I think that she's like very, only wears a mask if she absolutely has to in certain places. But she is not an advocate of it. She's, and she has been very obviously active on social media. She has a huge following and has been kind of like not
almost pushing the COVID conspiracy agenda.
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
So keep that in mind for this situation. So I guess she was in Aspen with her, family or whatever.
Okay.
And she was going to like some kind of speaking events and stuff.
Sure.
Because, she's a big deal over there in the US.
For whatever reason.
Oh, and I know. Guys, I'll leave that for another day. But so anyway, she's in Aspen and she decides, I guess there's I don't know how it works in the US, but I think there's free testing centers that you can go to. But then also there's private places that offer private tests.
Right.
But then I think those you might have to pay for, but maybe it's a little bit nicer of an environment,
yes.
Whatever else. So Candace Owens, she's quite a wealthy woman now, decides she wants to book at a private health clinic to get this COVID test because she wants to,
because it's the virus that she probably has told her following that you don't need to worry about, but she also wants to get the test for some reason.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Again,
very interesting.
Oh, the hypocrisy gets even better.
Oh, I know.
Right?
It's great.
I'm gonna actually read to you guys word for word this fucking email that she got. So the owner of this private clinic, I guess, or
that she
whatever,
tried to book
in, saw who was doing the booking, went back to her and basically said, "I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to take your booking."
Read the email. The email.
Okay, so she just said, "I've just learned of this testing request, and as the owner of this business, I'm going to refuse this booking and deny service. We cannot support anyone who has proactively worked to make the pandemic worse by spreading misinformation, politicizing, and discouraging the wearing of masks and actively dissuading people from receiving life-saving vaccines. She goes on to say, the only other local testing site is this kiosk by City Hall. You can go there. And then she goes on to say, my team and myself have worked overtime to exhaustion, unpaid, underpaid this past year, spending our own capital to ensure that our community remains protected. It would be unfair to them and the sacrifices we have all made this year to serve you."
Snap.
And then of course.
And of course, Candace, makes herself to be the victim.
Of course. And what's so ironic about this situation is there's a few things. I want to there's just
the whole thing is a big ball of irony.
Yeah, because then Candace Owen goes on to write a story about it. She gets super pissed off. She says, part of it is
I thought she believed in private practice.
Well, this is the thing.
One of the ironic
one of
things.
the irony is recently she was quite outspoken. I guess something had happened. I don't know the story, guys. So, but I heard there was a gay couple or somebody that wanted to have a cake made or something. And
and she was like, "Oh, well, businesses should be able to deny service."
Exactly. She said businesses should be allowed to deny service.
Even though that's called I'm pretty sure that's a discriminatory thing and that's a very different issue.
Well, exactly. And we'll get into that in a second.
Oh, God.
Because she had said about this gay couple that wasn't able to, and I think it's actually going to court or something. They're suing the baker or the cake shop or whatever. And she's really an advocate. Again, conservative, private practice. She said, those business owners are well within their rights to, because you're a gay couple, then, you're to not serve you. And it's so funny because, people are saying, well, this lady is almost doing the same thing. And it's not the same though, because when you take away what this actually represents and why this business owner is refusing service to Candace Owens, it has literally nothing to do with her race, her sexuality, anything like that. She's not actually discriminating, I would say, against Candace Owens. It would be for example, I'm just using this. I don't know if this is a good example, but if you ran a very passionate, animal sanctuary or something, and somebody came in that was just for whatever, brought their kids or I don't know, did something where they're like such against animal sanctuaries.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You would be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like you're the person that said, and it would have nothing to do about their religion, race, whatever, or even their political views. It has nothing to do with that. It's what they've been doing. And what Candace Owens has been doing is making life extremely hard for this clinic in a sense of, spreading misinformation, encouraging people not to wear masks. So causing devastation in communities. So this has nothing to do with her. And you know what? Another thing. So that was one hypocrisy that happened. The fact that she was like, oh my God, this business owner has refused me service of all people. She can't do that. But other businesses can, as long as it's not her. Apparently, she also started pulling out the race card.
Yes. I was waiting if you knew this.
Oh, yes.
She compared what happened to her to the Jim Crow laws.
Yes.
What the actual fuckery.
And then the crazy, like, guys, how many times have we talked about Candace Owens?
Gosh, she's such a hypocrite.
Candace Owens has denied that racism exists.
I know. She was like, racism was never really an issue in America.
No, and she was like, she had claimed, guys, I watched some of her, like, I went into a Candace Owens rabbit hole. I just watched some of her Instagram stories and her lives and things like this. And honestly, her logic, she was talking about how, like, black people are doing this to themselves in America. Like, racism isn't really a thing.
Unless it affects you, apparently, which isn't even a thing.
Oh, my God. And this is why, oh, God, she has literally, like, this story, I mean, it's just perfect in so many ways, in a sense that it just highlights the type of people like Candace Owens that literally will speak to you until they're blue in the face about one particular topic, about racism, about whatever it is. And then as soon as it impacts them, they're on the back pedal.
Yeah.
Or they're not necessarily even on the back pedal, but now she's saying that the racism does exist in America. So what is it, Candace Owens? What is going on? And you're an advocate of businesses refusing, on grounds of, there's a gay couple. They can refuse, to make their cake. It's their business, their choice.
Yeah.
And now this woman does the exact same thing to you. And oh my God,
not based on anything that you can't control, like your race.
Exactly. Not based on actual, because I can see, obviously, like businesses, you cannot discriminate against somebody, based on their, like, what they look like, their sexuality, their religion, all of this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody, and I think that, like, businesses are well within their right, if there is somebody that has been doing something harmful to your business or your community, why could you not, as a business owner, refuse to serve them?
Yes, you are allowed to. You are allowed to refuse service.
Exactly.
You just can't do it based on discriminatory, things.
Exactly.
So when she pulled the fucking Jim Crow thing, I was like, oh my God, woman, I cannot even believe that you're gonna use that right now when it has literally nothing to do with your race. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Gosh, she is so. It is just like, how do you have no shame?
Oh.
How do you literally have no shame? She literally said something like, I swear it was like last year. It wasn't even a long time ago. It was like last year where she was like, yeah, racism was never really a thing in America.
Yeah, it was right around like the George Floyd story.
Maybe, yeah.
And there was a huge.
She's just in denial.
I know, and there was a huge thing about systemic racism in the U.S. Remember, we watched that documentary, Khalif Browder.
She said it's not a thing,
and she is like denying it point blank. And now all of a sudden, because it's impacting her, she's like, oh well.
Let me pull the I'm a black woman card.
Yeah, it was funny because so many people, she's had a lot of backlash for good reason. And so many people are like, oh, it's funny how race was never a thing.
Yeah.
And now how fast she pulled the race card.
Yeah. She immediately race card.
Yeah. Like I'm just like really, really shocked.
Like, how can you even even if you were going to complain about this situation, how can you even pull that race card?
And it's just, and I honestly, this particular clinic and this woman, her name's Susanna Lee, I guess.
How do we feel about them actually refusing the service? Some people are saying that they're not really sure about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, I kind of like
it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like, in your face, bitch.
It's you're getting a dose of your own medicine.
Yeah.
I do see where people are on the other side of the fence and they're like, look, she should still be allowing people to get the COVID test.
Sure.
Because, it's such a
but she can get it at the public clinic.
Exactly. She doesn't have to go to this private clinic.
If it's the only option, then maybe there's some merit to what people are saying.
Exactly.
But you know what? At the end of the day, she said there's a free clinic over there. Go there. Like,
exactly.
If this is a private practice, you are allowed to refuse service.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're the one spreading fucking misinformation. Like, here's the thing. You had the audacity to go on and on about COVID, how it's not a big deal, how you don't have to wear masks, how you don't have to get the vaccine, whatever the fuck. And then you had the audacity to book a COVID test. First of all, I thought it was all a fucking hoax. You had the audacity to book a COVID test. And then when you got a little bit of, whatever,
backlash.
You wanted to publish that? Like, don't you have some like shame? Because I would be embarrassed.
I know.
If I were in her shoes and I were so in denial about COVID, I wouldn't want people to know that I was going to get even tested, to be honest with you.
But this is it. Like, and the thing is too, is like part of the backlash, because some people are actually on Candace Owens' side on this, which is
of course.
shocking.
I mean, she has millions of followers.
I know.
So it basically gives me no hope for humanity.
I know. And I just wish like that her followers would see through some of her bullshit.
But
like,
they're just as dumb as she is.
Like, it would be like, I know. It's like, it's like literally for someone to be such an not advocate, but just being like, racism doesn't exist in America. Like, we need to lift other black people up, and it's just them that are doing this to themselves.
They're victimizing themselves.
Exactly.
What are you doing, Candace, right now?
All of this stuff. And then literally, like, if her followers and viewers cannot see the hypocrisy in what she is doing, like, but people were being like, some of her like advocates and stuff, they're like, she's trying to be responsible and doing the right thing by like going and getting her test. Blah blah. And I'm like, well, she's not though. She's like only doing it probably because this venue that she's going to has been like, you have to get your test. Yeah. Like you have no choice. Yeah. Even though she probably doesn't want to get it. Yeah. And then she kicks up a fuss. Oh, guys.
Oh my God. Seriously.
And oh God, like, cause she was, I heard she was also like, bragging about how like her husband had COVID or something, and she was sharing a bed with him, and like just not,
So not even being careful.
Yeah, she just.
So you're not going to be careful. Then you're going to book a fucking test. For whatever reason, and you're probably right. It's probably because of some kind of business reason.
It would be a business reason. Like she's mandatory. Like they're making her take the test, and now she's kicking off because facilities are like, actually, you've caused a lot of fucked up shit. Like,
stay home, bitch.
Exactly. Like, I'm really sorry. I don't want you to come into our clinic. Yeah. Our staff has had to work harder because of you.
People like you.
Exactly. You and people like you. We've had more people die in our communities.
Oh my God.
We've had all of this stuff. Like, why would I want to serve you?
Yeah.
And
we joke about it. We're not joking about it right now, but like, we talk about it like these are irresponsible, but like at the end of the day, you're right. It's like some of this misinformation is actually killing people. If you actually think about it, there are lots of people that have died.
Well, I think, and again, guys, this is such a perfect example, and it's still a horrible story, but of those 3 conservative talk show radio hosts that died like in the last couple of weeks, 2 of them, well, actually all of them were this is a scam, this is whatever, but 2 of them, once they got COVID, did like a 180 and was like, guys, this is real, like blah, 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 like actually, and I just hope that more and more people start to wake up to this stuff, because it's just people like that, like those radio talk show hosts, Candace Owens, these people, they are the ones that are, causing people to
they're spreading the misinformation.
Exactly. So, and I
just FYI, these people are not doctors. They are not scientists.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think like this is a perfect example. You were asking, would I stand behind this Susanna Lee or whatever? And I do think, and I think you made a really good point, the fact that there are public facilities that she could have gone to get tested. I think that you guys, and I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this, but I actually stand behind the business owner and say, you know what? Good on you. You know what I mean? Like, I probably would have wanted to do the same thing. I probably don't know if I would have, but like, I would have wanted to.
Yeah,
just
it would have been tempting. It would have been tempting.
So tempting, because it's like, you know what? Fuck you. Literally fuck you. Like, this is just, and it's so stupid. And the fact that she's like, even her video, look at, like, I just have this particular post up, 250,000 likes.
Of course.
What is wrong with fucking society, guys? I can't.
I know. She is a mess.
And
honestly, I can't help but to think that she's popular because she's pretty attractive. Yeah. I think that's a big reason.
Well, I think that's part of it.
I mean, she's physically attractive. Yeah. Obviously, the insides are rotten to the core. Yeah. But physically, she's an attractive lady. So I think maybe a lot of men follow her, a lot of redneck men, you know what I'm saying?
They want them some Candace Owens.
Yeah, maybe.
God damn. I think,
and also a lot of white people that want to validate their potential bigotry. Yeah. And
because they're like, she agrees with us that systemic racism is not a thing. It's not an issue. Yeah. It's a non-issue. And
oh my God, honestly, I seriously cannot.
Yeah, I really.
And she's saying that it's political because of my political views. I'm like, again, this isn't political.
No.
Okay.
She literally said,
it's the fact that you people made it political.
Exactly. Well, and this is the thing. If you, I just read the email to you guys. You can look it up. Candace Owens actually did post it on her Twitter. Good for you, Candace. You know, thanks for sharing that email because it just makes you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And not once was the lady, Susanna, that wrote the email, not once did she say, I don't want you in here because of your conservative ideologies.
Yes.
She said specifically, spreading misinformation about the virus.
Yes.
Not encouraging people to wear masks. This has nothing to do with...
How is that political?
Exactly. She's not saying, oh, you're conservative, so you are not allowed to be in here.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say that because I'm sure there's other conservative people that have gone to this particular clinic and got tested.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And there's probably nowhere on the form where you have to indicate your political views.
Exactly.
So
why are you saying it's political?
It's because it's
other
Candace
than the
Owens.
fact that you think it's political.
Exactly. She thinks it's and she thinks it's a scam. She thinks the whole thing's a fucking scam.
Then why are you getting a fucking COVID test, bitch?
Because she has to. I guarantee that's the only reason she was
Stay
there.
home.
Exactly. Stay home, Candace Owens, and your followers. Guys, see the hypocrisy.
Wake up, people.
Wake up.
This is why I believe in education.
And challenging these views and
Seriously.
challenging things that are happening. And
it's bad.
Oh,
it's bad. What's the next story? Is it going to make me feel worse or better?
None of the stories, and this is actually another one that you sent me, but it's a big story.
Which one was this one?
So this is about
New York.
Yes.
Oh God, okay. This is how I found out about the New York. It wasn't just New York. It was hurricane.
Yeah.
Is it called Hurricane Ida or something?
Yeah, Ida.
So I don't know where it started or originated from, but it definitely, the reason why, to me, it's like, it was shocking to see New York, like parts of Manhattan, like underwater. There was like subway stations that were filling up, like literal flooding. Yeah. I was honestly, it's like nightmare come true.
Yeah.
Right? Talk about it, Daniel.
Well, the worst thing too is like, so Rose sent me this like video, so I went through and watched it.
Oh God.
And, like, stuff like that. So it was like I think it was like a Young Turks or something video.
Yeah.
It was really good. And the people were saying in this video, they were like, look, New York is having, like, I think this happened a couple days ago, the flooding, right? With Ida, Hurricane Ida or whatever coming through. And they were saying that the amount of rainfall and everything that hit New York City broke records.
Right.
And the previous record was broken August 21st.
So this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like a week before they broke a record again.
Yeah. And it's going to keep happening. Yeah. And
they were saying about how, okay, well, you have that record being broken. Then you had, like, I think it was in New Jersey, they were having tornadoes and stuff touch down. And like New Jersey, or I think it was New Jersey, they were like, they never get tornadoes, like ever, or very rarely. That's happened. There's record fires. There's, and people, I was reading the comment section as well, and people are like, saying unprecedented and record breaking is starting to lose meaning because it's happening
every week.
Exactly. And it's crazy because even the guys were saying, I guess there was like a big bill or something that's being passed in the US that had like a lot of money attached to it, like $4.5 billion or something. And within that was starting to was protocols around climate change and stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently that hasn't been passed yet, or there's like, it's
because a lot of Republicans have a lot of power at this moment, I think.
Exactly.
I don't know that much about the US, how the government is structured.
No, but I think the issues reign true in a lot of different countries. It's like, certain people are influencing politics.
Yes.
The people that are making money. And, at the end of the day, all this stuff is happening, and it just feels like, again, like governments aren't taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Well, not even just governments. It's just like people in general. Yeah. And a lot of the like, I just feel like
it's scary.
It's so fucking scary.
I just remember watching The Inconvenient Truth, which was seriously, was that 20 years ago?
It was with Al Gore, right?
Al Gore. Yeah. And I think it was, that movie came out when I think he was running against, was it George W. Bush he was running against?
I can't remember.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And anyways, so he was like the environmental guy.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that movie and I was scared shitless. I was like, oh my God, when is it? Like, I kind of want to rewatch it just
to see how things have progressed. But then he was
saying how like, all of these big cities, like New York being one of them, is going to get basically, they're going to fucking drown essentially. Or, you know.
And the thing is like, they were saying like around like the climate change and everything else is like a lot of people, like a lot of these companies and stuff that are, multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
again, you know, not taking proper precautions, not doing like anything. And it's like, you know, ultimately, there's people out there that are making so much money right now, a lot of energy companies, all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, but if we don't start thinking about our future and start like putting restrictions in or doing something, like all of that money is going to be meaningless.
It
like,
literally will be meaningless,
like
because at the end of the day, what does that even mean if you're just fighting for resources?
Well, exactly. It's like, you know, we're going to run into some serious consequences.
I don't
guys.
understand this mentality.
Well, it's like even just in our own little bubble. Like if I'm like saving money and I like buy myself a little house and I'm squirreling away my money and I'm very far away from, you know, even being any kind of wealthy, and all of that becomes meaningless if everything is flooding, my house is burning, the whole city is like up in flames. Like nothing will matter, guys. Like, and that's what I feel like a lot of these like people just, I don't know. I
don't understand. I genuinely don't understand the mentality. Like, I don't get it.
It's like, why is this not now like a 911 situation?
Like literally, it's like a serious situation. Like seeing New York underwater like that, like fucking freaked me out.
I know and it was crazy, guys. If you haven't seen the videos of like this water just gushing into the subway systems,
that was so fucking like, it was scary.
Yeah, and they said like because of the climate is getting hotter all the time, it's gonna get worse because they were saying like there's a number of reasons, but one of them is like hot air holds water better. I think like you can have more precipitation. Kind of yeah, and also like, if it's really hot and dry, the ground also doesn't absorb water very well. Right. So you have like a bunch of different factors to create flash flooding, which we saw in Europe, to like create huge like rainstorms and hurricanes and like.
Oh God, it's so scary.
Like
what are we gonna do?
I do feel like we've always had like quite a lot of like natural disasters, but I feel like it's definitely ramping up.
This year is literally, it is literal code red situation.
Yeah. And it's like everywhere. It's like everywhere is breaking records. It's like, this has never happened before. Record rainfall, record heat, record this, record that.
Fires,
it's like
and
unprecedented this. And it's just like,
I know.
What the fuck is going to happen?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. It's depressing.
Oh God, guys.
It's scary to see New York like that. Like, honestly, I was like, there's so many people living there. I saw apartments like fully flooded. Like literally, guys.
I'm
like, how are you even filming this shit? I'd be getting the fuck out of there. But then at the same time, I'm like, what if I leave and it's just water? Mm-hmm. What would you do in that situation? I was like trying to imagine myself in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, imagine if this place was flooded.
I don't know what I would do.
Oh my, I can't, like, I literally get chills just thinking about that. Like, that is so creepy.
Well, you have been in a flat that was flooded, Rose.
Daniel. That is triggering.
I was thinking you would get triggered by those videos because like I saw people like
water gushing out.
and again, like, you know, this is like coming back to, you know, it's not just certain people, like everyone eventually will get impacted by this.
Everyone
even
will.
The mega wealthy. And it's like, it, you know, would it be so wrong to start like, you know, really taking a look at this? Mm-hmm. And you know what? Some of these, I understand there's certain things that we need for like our, you know, day-to-day living and stuff. But can we start like looking at ways as a global society
Why
that
can't
we
work together, honestly?
I know, and start mitigating some of this stuff.
I know.
I just, because, and again, we always go back to capitalism, but as long as people are making so much money, they just don't seem to care.
I know, but it's insane. It's insane. It's
just, I don't know, guys. I don't know what the answer is. And
shall we talk about the next depressing story, which God. I don't know if you have this on your list.
What is it?
Texas.
Oh my God.
Have
it's
you not
on my list?
This is a big story, but we have to talk about this one.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. The other stories we'll have to save for another day, guys, because this is getting into it's
yeah,
crazy.
No, we're already going into the 1 hour mark. Are we not? Are we deep into the 1 hour mark?
Not deep, but we're getting there.
Oh God,
that sounded so dirty.
So Texas, I'm sure you guys have heard this. They've passed, I don't know the full on details, but I heard that they passed some sort of abortion law. Yeah. Where basically they made it illegal to have an abortion after 10 weeks.
6 weeks.
6.
Yeah, I'll pull up the story. I'm 99%
so
sure.
Daniel, it was a very short period of time. And yeah, Daniel's going to pull up the story. But what's insane is that so many people don't even realize they're pregnant until like 8 weeks, maybe even past that. And it's basically kind of going backwards in our history because it's kind of like undoing Roe v. Wade. And I think they're making it so that you can like tell on people, right? Like if I decide to get an abortion, you can like you could tell on me and somehow that's going to impact. I don't know exactly. I heard that they can't criminalize it, but I don't know exactly how it works.
Oh my God. It's just crazy. So the title of this article, Texas abortion law is one of the most restrictive in the developed world.
Texas, come on, guys. Let's get our shit together.
Yeah, here we go.
And guys, just for context, people call Alberta the Texas of Canada.
That's very true. So here's the thing. Listen to this. Texas's ban on abortion beyond 6 weeks, before many women, like you said, even know that they have conceived,
6 weeks is nothing.
Has widened the reproductive health gap between the United States and other leading democracies. The U.S. Supreme Court formally denied a request from Texas abortion providers to freeze the new law on Wednesday, even though it violates, I guess, some previous, which legalized abortion across the U.S.
Yeah, Roe v. Wade was like a big thing where it basically made abortion illegal in the U.S. And that happened, I don't know when, but like that was a big like monumental moment in U.S. history.
Well, and it legalized, I guess, abortion across the U.S. prior to viability. So I guess up to a certain point.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Which happens at around 24 weeks of pregnancy.
Yes. So, and now they're saying, I guess in Texas, after 6 weeks.
Which is nothing, you guys. 6 weeks is nothing. Seriously, most people don't even know they're pregnant in 6 weeks.
Well, and apparently it was like a very close vote as well. Like
it's because this is what I'm saying about how the Supreme Court, I think, is very conservative right now. Yeah. And I think that's how they were able to pass this sort of law or whatever it is. So that's what people are saying. Again, I don't know exactly, but it's like a very heavy Republican
right.
power.
It's a Republican-led state.
But this is insane. Like, even if you're Republican, like to me, this is just crazy.
It's just crazy. It's like the move by Texas opens the door for other Republican-led states to pass similar legislation and puts the Roe v. Wade further at risk. That's just crazy.
Okay, scroll down a bit. Here's how the U.S. state of Texas compares to several other countries around the world. Yeah, it says key U.S. allies have far greater access to abortion, which isn't surprising. In Canada, I'm pretty sure it's legal like everywhere.
Well, the U.S.'s neighbor Canada is one of the few countries which allows abortion at any point during pregnancy.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has criticized moves in the U.S. to make abortions more difficult to access.
Okay, here's the problem.
What's the problem, Rose?
Number one, let me just say a few facts. Making abortion illegal does not decrease the rates of abortion. This has been proven time and time again in many countries, in many different studies. It does not decrease. Again, I know we're preaching to the choir, but it does not decrease the rates of abortion. So what that means, when you criminalize or make it illegal to have abortions, people will still have the abortions.
Yeah, but they'll do it in unsafe
ways. So if you are actually pro-life, it actually makes no sense because you're potentially harming more lives.
Yeah.
Because you're making it more dangerous for women to have abortions, which they will have anyways. And secondly, instead of focusing on making abortions illegal, you need to focus on how you can better support women and other people when they have babies, so that they can actually take care of the baby, so they're less likely to have abortions.
Well, this is the thing. The whole thing is so fucked. And like, I wonder, I'm just like putting a little side note out here. I wonder how many people, a lot of those like anti-vaxxers. Anti-vaxxers, anti-masters, like my body, my choice.
Yes.
I wonder how many of them are against abortion as well, though.
That's what I'm saying.
On the flip side, because now they're like, oh, I bet, and guys, again, I'm going out on a limb here, but I could imagine that a lot of the people that are against vaccines.
Because a lot of them are Republican.
Exactly. And they're saying, my body, my choice. I can do what I want. I don't want to inject the vaccine in me or whatever. Yet on the flip side, they'll be like, well, an abortion is illegal.
Because they think that their argument would be that because it's a fetus and a fetus is a baby.
Yeah. And that you can't, it's considered murder to them, right? Like it's not like
even though once the fetus is born, they're not going to do anything about it. This is the problem.
Yeah.
They have, U.S. has very poor, welfare programs compared to a lot of other countries in the developed world.
Yeah.
And they don't take care of babies. They don't have very good programs for like maternity leave. I think there's like maternity leave is kind of a joke in the U.S. I think it's like very non-existent.
It's brutal.
And childcare is very expensive.
This is the thing. Having children, no matter where you are, is expensive, right? Like, and if you're a single mom or you're somebody that's maybe had some situation that happened, like let's say you go,
what about rape? What about that?
Well, what about,
did they mention that here?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter if you got raped.
No, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't like
really in this law.
I'm like 99.9% sure.
This is just ridiculous.
This is the thing. So there's those situations, for example, and this is why it's like, again, the people were saying it's very like, against women and against the women's rights. And it's like, for example, if you go out to the bar, you have a one night stand with somebody, get pregnant, and now they're saying, and let's say you don't realize until a little bit later, and now they're saying, oh, again, it's like, oh, the onus is only on the woman there.
Of course.
And so I saw this, I think it was a meme or something, and they were saying, all right, if you want to make, because, they're like, oh, women, they, can't be having abortions and whatever else. Why don't, because the procedure is reversible, why don't they make every single man then get a
vasectomy?
Get a fucking vasectomy.
Exactly.
And then when he wants to have kids, not get a vasectomy.
Exactly.
Why can't that happen?
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't do that either.
Why?
Why
not?
Because it's it's our bodies, our choice.
Exactly. It's fucked up. See, that's the thing.
There's so much hypocrisy around it, and it sucks because the reproductive way that it works, obviously the woman carries the baby, has the baby, and if her partner doesn't stick around,
the thing is, just by nature, women have to deal with it a lot more, right?
Of course.
Just by nature, we have to carry the baby, have fucking a painful birth, and most of the time, again, because you can't make a man, you can't stick a man on you, they can leave at any point. They don't necessarily have to pay child support. Sometimes they don't even, unless they take a paternity test, you don't even know who's the father. So at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, there is more pressure on a woman when there is a baby.
And it's so funny. People are so hypocritical. In that example, you're like, oh, maybe she doesn't know who the father is. And they'll say, oh, that girl's such a whore for sleeping around.
Maybe she shouldn't be sleeping around.
Exactly. But then I'm
fuck you. What about the men?
Exactly. I'm like, what about on the flip side? What about the guys that are getting lots of girls pregnant because they're not wearing protection and doing whatever else? And do they follow up with all
do you think these people want, they believe in protection? You think they believe in condoms or birth control? It's the same religious people that also don't believe in contraception, that are also against abortion.
I know.
And this kind of shit, I cannot believe we're having this discussion in 2021.
I know. It's just, it's crazy. I remember this is just.
We had these debates in fucking junior high.
This debate has been going on for a very long time.
This should not be happening right now. This should not even be a debate
I know.
Today.
Do you remember when we used to have on campus?
Oh God, those anti-abortion people.
Yes. So on our campus, guys, every single year.
Didn't you fight with one of them?
That wasn't me. I'm pretty sure it was you.
I'm pretty sure you had an argument with one of them. I never approached them.
Oh, I did.
Because I just avoided them.
I don't know if it was me. I want to say, who was it that was with me that really got into a proper fight with them? And I was like, go you. I wish I could remember who it was.
I don't think it was me.
I definitely was there when they got into an argument. And my friend was pretty good about it, pretty rational, but people were using very extreme images and all of this stuff, and it's again, they were comparing abortion to the Holocaust and things like this, drawing at strings here, and it's just,
we have to realize that it is a very unique situation. Comparing abortion to a lot of things is almost impossible.
Exactly.
And of course you can have analogies, but it's really hard to make an analogy when this is literally this body, a fetus is still a part of your body, right? Because without your body, that fetus cannot survive, which means it is a part of a woman's body. Yeah. Right? If you take the fetus out of the woman's body, the fetus cannot survive. Yeah. So that means that this is your body. This is not anything else. And
but people
they're not even conscious. I'm sorry, but it is not a fully grown human yet. Mm-hmm. And again, regardless, we need to understand that it is a very touchy subject, and it is a very difficult situation that a lot of women don't want to be in.
Exactly. Nobody wants to be in this situation. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No one is choosing. I guarantee you talk to anybody. People. Exactly. Yes. Nobody wants to be in this situation. It's a tough situation to be in. But you know what? I'm thinking of myself as well. If I was a woman and I got pregnant, unplanned, wasn't necessarily with somebody, or whatever the situation was, we have to understand that we've constructed a society in such a way that actually hinders or puts, for women that do have kids by themselves, there's financial instability. There's, lack of career, there's more career roadblocks. There's so many negative things in society that would put challenge to a woman just because she has a kid.
Well, she just shouldn't have had sex then. That's their argument. I know. What kills me as well, again, it's the same people, same fucking group of people that are going to say, well, I believe in the family unit. You need to have a mother and a father and children. That's how the family should be. Yeah. You can't have two fathers because, You know, that's not good.
They're pushing the gay agenda. You can't have two mothers.
You can't have two mothers. You have to have a mother and a father and then babies.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if a single mother got pregnant and wanted to have an abortion? Are you against that or are you for that? Which one is it?
It's not part of the nuclear family.
Are you going to provide a husband for this single mother? Are you going to provide the financial aid that a single mother needs?
Of course they will.
To have baby. And here's what kills me as well.
Yeah.
You know how I listen to a lot of these true crime shit?
Yeah.
I swear, every single one of them, they talk, and I know it's, you know, obviously I'm just talking about true crime shit. Anyway, every single one of them is like, oh, and then these people that are like horrible people are like, you know, basically unable to take care of themselves, just pop out babies. They're just popping out babies. They have like 4 or 5 babies. I'm like, this is the society that we are in. We don't support people. First of all, we don't support their mental health. We don't actually check if they're going to be good parents. They're just allowed to have fucking babies. But as soon as they want to terminate a pregnancy, we need to get involved. Yeah. It's like, maybe we should get, you know what? If we want to get
that's such a good point,
but
Rose.
Seriously, I listen to this and I'm literally, it's shocking to me because every time I listen to these, they are always like, oh yeah. And then he had like, you know, he was abusing his wife and then they decided to have 4 babies. And I'm like, what kills me is that these people that are like irresponsible, they pop out babies like no tomorrow. Yeah. And then people that are kind of responsible are less likely to have children.
Yeah. And then
that's what's crazy.
I know. But and then you're right on the flip side. No one gets involved
until you want to have an abortion.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden it's like, you want to have an abortion now? God damn, you can't have an abortion, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, so you just want people to be irresponsibly popping out children if they don't even want those children in the first place. Yep. Like, and then
they could be abusing those kids. Who knows, right?
Exactly.
Like, if you take a woman that wants to have an abortion that, you know, and don't allow her to have an abortion, who knows what's going to happen? You know, she could be bringing the child into a very unsafe environment. Yeah. Maybe she is a child herself. Like, we don't know these situations. Yeah. And of course, like, I think we should, you know, there needs to be other measures. Obviously, you can't just be like abortion for everybody. Like, obviously, like, there should be education around safe sex and, you know, contraceptions and, you know, having programs for single mothers or mothers in general.
Like more support programs.
Yes, more support.
Stuff,
there needs to be so many other things in place, but just banning abortions is not the solution. Yeah. Oh. God, the stories today are really just
I know it kind of makes, does it not make you lose hope in humanity?
Like my hope for humanity is just non-existent at this point.
I know, you're right though. I am shocked that we're like in the 21st century.
I can't believe
we're still having these discussions. Like this is
like this would be like us trying to discuss like gay marriage again in Canada or something. Like it just I just can't even believe.
Which is still an ongoing issue in some countries. Like it's
is it legal in the U.S. all over now?
I don't know if it's all over, but I think there's a lot of states that allow it now. But they're still having issues and pushback where like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, like,
oh my God,
it's just
seriously,
it's just the people that are putting these things into place or like trying to do these laws or whatever. They're just so fucking hypocritical, and I just hate it so much. Like I just remember like one of the things that we were talking to, like me and my friend, when we were talking to the
pro-life people.
Yeah.
I don't like to call them pro-life.
I know. I don't think it's a good. Yeah.
Anti-choice. That's what people say.
And we were mentioning something similar. We're like, well, what if it, like, you know, what if a girl like, you know, gets attacked or something? Yeah. She's 14 years old, gets pregnant.
What did they? Oh yeah. What did they say?
This is never part of her plan. Like, what is wrong with her getting that abortion? They said, yeah, but you're taking away that child's opportunity for a life and like the child that she would have or whatever. How do you know that she wouldn't have a, you know, really fulfilling life and be a fantastic mother and blah blah? And I was like, she's 14.
Yeah. And how do you know the opposite is true?
Exactly. How do you know that it's not going to be a bad situation? And you know, she's already dealing with trauma from like a rape. Yeah,
that's such a fucking bad. I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm sorry. If you're already dealing with trauma. Yeah. Like nobody should be telling you like that you need to have a baby from that fucking trauma. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's just crazy.
Like I just cannot even believe people are so just. I don't like. There are 8 billion. Was it 8 billion people in this world now? 8 billion people.
I think we're almost at 8 billion.
Okay, we have enough humans. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, we're on target to to get to even more.
We have enough humans. There are so many kids in foster care. Yeah, like. All these pro-choice or pro-life fucking people, please go and adopt a child if you're so pro-life. I know some people might do that, but also like so many people don't.
Exactly.
I saw this like TikTok of like there's always like protesters outside of like Planned Parenthood, which is like the abortion clinic. Yeah. I think they do other things other than abortions, but anyways. Yeah. There's always like a bunch of like, you know, pro-life people or whatever. Yeah. And then somebody came out and was like, so how many kids have you adopted? Yeah. And they're all just like, that's not the point. I was like, I mean, it half is.
It kind of is.
It kind of is the point.
If you're saying that you're
that life is so important.
Exactly. That life is so important and you need to give them a fighting chance.
Then why don't you do that?
Exactly.
You're such a big person.
Well, exactly. And you're saying that, like, I'm so involved in your life, Rose. You can't do that. You have to give that child a fighting chance. But then I'm not doing anything else in my power except for saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not actually taking any other further action. And you're right. Some of them might adopt children.
But very few,
I bet you not that many. And you're right. Many. It's such a good point. And I wish I could have seen that TikTok or whatever when that person goes out there and is like, guys, fantastic that you're out here. Actually,
adoption applications are over there.
Exactly. So if you guys want to adopt all the unwanted kids that are being had from people not having abortions, then I think, great. Come over here. How many kids can you afford to adopt? 3, 4, 5. You let me know. There's so many kids that need help and need support. And if you're saying that somebody cannot terminate a pregnancy, then where are you to support them?
And also just the idea that somebody that gets attacked, it's not even just about giving this child a chance. It's like, you have to understand, like, pregnancy is a 9-month process. Yeah. You are carrying this baby and it is not a fun process. Like, it is painful. You're going to be like,
your body
sick.
changes.
Your body changes. And if you were attacked, this is a constant reminder.
Exactly.
And it's a constant trauma.
And not even just if someone's attacked, like if someone's just not ready for a child.
Exactly.
And someone's actually being responsible, like you said, and they know, they're like, you know what, I am not ready for to be a parent. I'm making that conscious decision is actually smarter than the person that's, not able to can barely take care of themselves, having like 7 children, on doing goodness knows what. And yet we're saying, actually, that's a better environment for those kids.
Yep.
Which
is crazy.
I can't.
I heard the story of this like woman in the UK that was like, and I think this actually happens more often than it should in the UK. I don't know if it's just the UK, but I'm sure other places where she just like has a bunch of kids, doesn't take care of them, neglects them because she's collecting checks.
Oh yeah. Well, apparently like a lot of places, like it's called, like even in Canada we have this.
Right.
Where
like
basically
a child credit or something.
Yeah, it's called a baby bonus.
Oh my god.
So like basically, if you have kids, you actually get like, depending on your income level as well.
Right.
So even like if you have a child, like you and your partner, you will get money from the government every month.
Right.
And so
I mean, which I don't necessarily oppose.
Yeah.
But I guess I might have a bit of a controversial opinion.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like,
I think that there should be some sort of not a test, but potentially a lot of education that goes into being a parent.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people become parents and they don't know what the fuck. And I'm sure most people think that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are incredibly irresponsible that don't take care of themselves, that live in like, again, it's because I listen to all these fucking true crime podcasts, but it's shocking how people can just pop out babies without any, like, nobody's checking on them. You know, and we know how CPS doesn't do their job half the time, apparently. So kids are just being born in these environments, being neglected, not being taken care of, being abused.
Yeah.
And what people can't do anything because their biological parents had them. That's also fucked up. Just because you can biologically have kids doesn't mean you should have the privilege of raising the child.
Exactly. But also, just because you biologically can have a kid doesn't mean that you necessarily should.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But then because you can biologically do it, anyone can pop out a baby.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to adopt a child, it's so fucking difficult.
Oh, this is a pet peeve of mine,
This is my fucking pet peeve.
Because like I was thinking, like, eventually, like, if I ever get a partner, I might want to have my own, like, have a child and adopt a child.
Yes.
And like, honestly, from what I've heard, like, the process takes, first of all, years.
Yeah, it takes years.
It's
very
happen.
difficult. It's very expensive.
Yeah, expensive. All of these things, they're gonna, check on a lot of different things, which I think in some ways is really, really good. But you're right. On the flip side, if I was in a heterosexual couple, we could be like struggling and doing whatever, and I could still like just
you could be making no money. You could have no job. You could literally just be, you could be doing literally nothing with your life.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, fine. But if you bring a child into that, you could be an abusive person. You could be whatever. You could literally you could be whatever. And as long as your sperm works, you could have a child.
And your egg, yeah.
And your egg, you have a sperm and an egg, and you can have a child. And then that's where I feel like I get it that it's like very difficult. You can't just like mandate people again.
Exactly.
My body, my choice, whatever. If we can mandate that people can't have abortions, we should easily be able to mandate who can have babies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like we're gonna talk about like my body, my choice, whatever the fuck. But then we're gonna fucking not allow women to have abortions.
But that's what I'm saying. I bet
there's no such thing. My body, my fucking choice.
Exactly. Well, this is another really hot topic, and it's really interesting that I again, guys, I'd put money on it that a lot of these people again are the anti-vaxxers that are saying you can't tell me what I can put into my body. You can't tell me as a government or whatever laws you're making that I have to get this vaccine for the greater good of society, but yet I can tell you not to get an abortion.
It's so crazy.
How can you be such a fucking hypocrite? God. Honestly. And on that positive note, guys,
we need to end this.
We need to end the podcast.
It is raising my blood pressure.
I know. I feel like Rose is going to have a nervous breakdown here at some point. I think she's take a breather.
I hate society.
I know. It's a frustrating, but there are some good stories. I think where there's some positive things going on as well. So
we literally talked about zero positive things today.
This is true. That's very true. So on this happy note, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're not already, don't forget to if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, give us a little thumbs up if you like the video, and leave us a
hate comment that we can react to next week.
That's true. I mean, obviously,
or in our Patreon exclusive.
I know that some of the topics we talked about today, guys, they are pretty controversial, and there's going to be
I got really heated, opinions. So people are going to get mad at me.
Yeah, people are going to yell at us, but that's fine. But like if you do leave us some comments and you don't agree, fine, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but like
you're wrong, but okay.
Yeah, you're wrong. No, but like construct a good argument, guys, and try to explain your side of the coin if you can.
Yeah, good luck with that.
No. God damn. Also, if you're not already, whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, just hit that follow button. It means that every time there's a new episode uploaded, you'll get notified right away. Also, as we mentioned earlier, guys, check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/the SaVeg podcast. There's lots of exclusive content on there, guys. We do an exclusive episode every single month. And as Rose mentioned, this month's juicy episode is going to be us reacting to your hate comments that were not hate comments. What did we say earlier?
I can't remember what we said.
Your interesting
interesting
comments. And so that will be going live at some point in September. We haven't recorded it yet. So, we are going to Montreal next week. So, which is exciting.
If you guys see us, if you see us on the streets of Montreal,
say hi. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the SaVeg podcast, and have an amazing week, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, guys, we'll try to bring you some happy stories next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.